Oh, so I actually get asked this question quite a bit, and it is why we decided to not sell our home like the vast majority of people who end up traveling full time. So we're going to get into that. And I hope if you are thinking about traveling full time, whether now or at any point in the future, this brings a different perspective and gives you something to think about. All right, let's get into it. So, we bought our house. It closed April of 2020. So it was delayed a little bit because of, what happened in 2020. But that was back when things were not outrageously priced. So we actually bought our home in Florida. It was $86,000 for a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, traditional style home in Florida. And our interest rate is 3.5%. So total, with everything, that's principal, interest, and our insurance, it's less than $800 a month. Now, we could have absolutely turned around and made a very big profit. But here's why we didn't. Number one, we're probably never going to see those prices again, even here in Florida, where home prices are that low. There's been such an influx of people moving here, and I know you see on the news, there's an exodus of people after Helene and Milton, but there is a lot of people that still move here every single year. So not only has it pushed the sale prices up, but it also has really skyrocketed the rent. And one of the things that we thought about, Gary's 51, I'm 48, is at some point, we're going to need an actual home to come back to when we get older. And there's just no way, even rent is, way over that. It's more than 2 times that. And it is an investment. So that was the biggest reason. The second reason was honestly, I love our home. We put a lot of work into it, remodeling it ourselves. And I just love our home. I love our neighborhood. I love our home. I don't want to start all over again. It's decorated to fit my personality, and we know what has been done and what hasn't been done. There's not, crazy surprises that are going to come around the corner. And like I said, we will have to have a home. We can't travel, full time. As awesome as our, SUV camper is, even with a travel trailer or a fifth wheel, those things, number one, not only depreciate, but they fall apart, which is why we ended up going with this versus, a pull behind trailer. Now, that doesn't mean that, in the future, maybe we won't get something smaller to tow, but that's why we built this out, because number one, it's way easier to travel with. We can get in and out of places that you just can't if you're towing something behind you. And these cars don't break down the same way that travel trailers and fifth wheels and, weekend warriors do, toy haulers. So that is a big reason as to why. Now, we toyed with the idea of renting the home out, to medical professionals. We toyed with the idea of listing it as an Airbnb because we are so close to 2 huge tourist destinations that are both first magnitude springs and rivers, where we're at in Florida. And we ended up just deciding, we have not done this before. We we've traveled. I mean, we've made so many cross-country trips from California to Florida. I honestly, it's insane how much we have traveled, but we haven't done it full time. And so we also had to be very realistic and know that, at our age, hey, just like we experienced when I ended up getting MRSA and sepsis, what happens if something serious goes down and we need to have a home base? We want to be able to have a place to come back to, and we want to be able to, take breaks in between and just relax and kind of, de-stress from traveling and then get back out there. So my advice is really, really think about it before you sell your home, because over the last several years, we have seen interest rates skyrocket. We've seen the purchase prices skyrocket. We have seen rents skyrocket. And you may have to be creative and save up before you do it, like we did. I'll be getting into, the story of how we even got the money to do all of this and put a new engine in the truck and all the work that's been done on the excursion and the build out. It's not cheap to create an overlanding vehicle. So that will be on another video where I talk about, had to do with a pretty bad car accident, but the nightmares of that as well. And then I'm also going to give you tips, because there's a lot of stuff that people do not think about, that if I would not have been wise ahead of time before that accident, it could have turned out completely differently. But I'll get into that probably on tomorrow's video, actually. But I just wanted to give a different perspective, because you don't have to sell your house in order to do this, and like I said, yeah, it may take a little bit of grinding. It may take, getting a side hustle to save up, to have money to be able to do it. A lot of the stuff inside of the car, that's not the big ticket items like the fridge and freezer and our huge power bank, that type of thing. But a lot of the other stuff, like we were resourceful, I mean, we looked for really good deals. We built our own bed. We put the money into the things we absolutely knew we wanted to be brand new, and last a long time. And then the other stuff, we waited until we saw something that we really wanted to put in that is useful. I'll show you like our, pantry. I'll show you really quick. So this is the pantry, and yes, there's the sign for Mr. Bobo, and this faces out of that car. So it has, 3 shelves, and that's what I use for things like, oh, don't mind my Crayola pencils, but I put, coffee stuff in the top, and we've got a couple of cute little plants, and then we've got food on the last 2. But I waited. I kept looking and looking, and I waited until I found the one with the measurements that were going to work, that was for a really good price. And I just took my time. The baskets right there, these, we've got 2 hanging up on each side to hold keys, hold our cell phones when we go to bed at night. Those, I think I paid like $5 a piece at Aldi. You can't beat that, And so I just want to offer that advice where you don't have to feel like, because everybody else is saying, we sold our house, and so, we were able to buy this huge extravagant RV and travel. Think ahead into the future, because where you're at right now might not be in 10 years the best option for you. So really think about that before you just kind of go with the flow of what everybody else is saying and everybody else is telling you to do online, because there are other options, and there's other options that will still keep you protected in case you decide you don't like traveling, in case something happens health-wise and you need a place to go back to, you know, in case something happens in our nation or there's a war, whatever the case may be. Just really think through it and know there's another option and there are other choices besides everything you hear from full-time travelers on YouTube. So I just wanted to share that with you guys today. It's a little bit different, but I get that I get asked that a lot, you know, and that is why we chose not to sell our house. All right, guys, be blessed. I will see you on the next video. And if you know anybody who is thinking about getting into traveling full-time, share this with them, or, you know, share it on your profiles as well, you know, Facebook, Twitter, all of that, because you never know who you know that might be in a situation where they're thinking about doing it. All right, bye.